So I'm going to do a thing called interference. When you make a body, you kind of look at it and you think, yep, that's perfect. That all fits in the holes and everything's great. Now, for the eagle-eyed among you, you would know that that circle or that cylinder, although it goes into the body, the eagle-eyed amongst you will know that that's not actually fitting into a hole in the body. So what I've got is I've got a center cylinder, and then I've got a box with a hole in the middle of it. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will go, that does not fit. And the reason being is you can't see a black line around the cylinder where it joins the box. Okay, that is your clue. But often we draw these things and we create them, and then we 3D print them, and we go to put them together and we realize that it's just wrong. It doesn't fit. So you have a thing called interference, which is actually really, really quite handy. Now, you can also do, and we've talked about this before, where we've done a section analysis. So if we did that on that one, and then we flipped it, if we look from the front there, we can see that that cylinder is definitely bigger than the hole. There's no doubt about that. So if I just take the analysis out, but we have a really, really cool tool here on the inspect, which is a thing called interference. So what it asks you to do is select all the items that you're interested in that may possibly be interfering with the others. We have a compute option. So when you click compute, initially it will show you all of the interferences. Now you can see it interferes here with the, because the red is showing where it's interfering on the cylinder, but I've also moved this cylinder too close to the box because it's interfering down that green line. Now, if you don't want to see all of the interferences, you just want to see which ones are which, if you do select the show all interferences and then you select each one, that will show you each interference at a time. Now, wouldn't it be really cool if you could actually say, right, okay, so really that hole just needs to be made bigger, doesn't it? Wouldn't it be easy if you could just do that? Well, you can. And let me show you how. One thing I'm going to show you now, don't use it, but I'm going to that sounds daft, doesn't it? I'm going to show you something that I don't want you to use. Anyway, I'm going to forget that. It's just, my brain's gone completely today. So you do have an option here, which is a thing called do not capture design history. Now, do not capture design history is a bit like erasing a videotape before you've watched it. Use it with caution. So if you do not capture design history, it will come up with a warning, and it says the timeline and all design history will be removed and further operations will not be captured in the timeline. So if you think you want to go backwards and forwards in timeline, you've created this amazing model and you think, I remember what Malcolm said, I can make this hole bigger because it's a lot easier than doing it the other way, you will hate me forever. So this is recorded. So if you send me a snotty email, I can send you back to the video and I can say you were warned. Okay. So basically what that does now, you can see my timeline at the bottom has completely disappeared. So now we've stopped design history. If we go inspect and then we do interference, and if we select that one, and that one, and then we do compute, you will see a box with some little arrows that go left and right, left and right. Now, I was clever and I named them just because it made it a little bit easier. So what we've got there now is we've now got a target, cut, and a tool, keep. So the target is the cylinder and the keep is the box. We'll actually want it the other way. So if you flip it the other way, really, I want to cut the box. I want to cut the box out a bit more and I want to keep the cylinder. And also on this one, really, I do want to cut the box and I want to keep the cylinder because I want to keep the cylinders. So now when I click OK, for the eagle-eyed amongst you, you will notice here that you now have your little line. So if you look down there, you know that fits in there perfectly. And if we take out the center cylinder and we take out the side cylinder, you will notice that the box now has a very neat little cutout in the corner there. and that is exactly to the same shape as your side cylinder. And if you keep an eye on the circle, you just have to believe me on this one. But if I bring in the center cylinder, it will fit perfectly in that hole. So what I can do now, and this is why I say I've got this recorded. So if you do this and it goes wrong, I will refer you back to the video. What you now need to do is you need to right click interference, or the top tree, and capture design history again. Because if you don't, all the great work that you're going to do for the next 4 hours is not going to be captured in your timeline, and you're going to hate me forever. So if you now capture design history, what you'll notice is you have here a thing called a base feature. A base feature is if you started from the beginning. It's everything all condensed into one little package, but you can't go back in time when you do it. But what you can do now is you can inspect and you can check interference. We can check that one, and that one. And if I now compute, it says the lovely words, no interference is detected. So you can click OK and then cancel on that one. But now we've got a base feature down the bottom. If we extrude, and if we wanted to extrude that one down, let's say 20 mil, and we do that one down and then we click OK, we now have our timeline back, but only from the start of when we did do not capture design history. So it does mean now that we can right click, we can edit that feature. And if we want to make that now minus 10 mil, we can do that and hit return. But remember, everything before you did do not capture design history will be lost forever in time. And you can't, well, you can get it back because you can keep going undo, undo, undo. But if you do a save, it will be lost forever. Don't blame me if you try it.